What did boredom feel like 20,000 years ago? Imagine you're sitting in a cave. No phone, no TV, no books, no music, no internet, not even a weirdly satisfying video of someone pressure washing a driveway. Just you and a rock for hours. Sounds like the most boring day in human history, right? But here's the strange part. Humans living 20,000 years ago may have experienced boredom very differently from us. In fact, they might have been less bored than we are today. Which is kind of embarrassing when you think about it, because they were literally living during the Ice Age. So what did boredom actually feel like back then? And did our ancestors ever sit around wondering, what am I supposed to do now? To answer that, we need to travel back 20,000 years. The world looked completely different. Huge glaciers covered massive parts of Earth. Temperatures were colder, sea levels were lower, and every day was a fight to survive. Now imagine waking up as a hunter-gatherer. You don't have an alarm clock, you don't have a job title, you don't even have a calendar. Your day starts when the sun comes up. Maybe you're searching for food. Maybe you're tracking animals. Maybe you're collecting firewood. Maybe you're making tools. Or maybe you're helping repair a shelter before a snowstorm arrives. Every task matters, because if you fail, there's a chance you don't eat. Or worse, that alone changes the experience of boredom. Think about the last time your phone battery died. For 10 minutes, you probably felt trapped inside your own brain. You opened the fridge, closed the fridge, opened it again, checked your pockets, checked the battery, checked it again. Meanwhile, Ice Age humans didn't have endless entertainment competing for their attention. Their brains weren't constantly comparing reality to TikTok. So ordinary life may have felt far more engaging. A simple animal track in the mud wasn't boring, it was information. A distant sound in the forest wasn't background noise, it could mean food or danger. Your brain paid attention because paying attention mattered. But before we turn our ancestors into productivity superheroes, let's be realistic. They were still human, and humans get bored. Scientists think boredom evolved for a reason. It's basically your brain's way of saying, hey, whatever you're doing right now isn't rewarding enough. Try something else. It's an internal nudge toward exploration. Without boredom, we'd probably sit in one place forever. Which means Ice Age humans almost certainly experienced boredom too, just not in the same way we do. Imagine spending days making stone tools. Chip, chip, chip. Thousands of tiny strikes. One mistake could ruin hours of work. That gets repetitive. Or imagine following migrating animals for weeks. Walking, walking, more walking. Then somehow finding even more walking. At some point, somebody probably looked across the frozen landscape and thought, are we seriously doing this again? But here's where things get interesting. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have noticed something surprising. Many don't spend every waking moment working. Some groups actually have a decent amount of free time, far more than most modern office workers. Which raises an obvious question. What did people do with that free time 20,000 years ago? The answer is a lot. They talked a lot. Humans are storytelling machines. Long before Netflix existed, people had stories. Stories about animals. Stories about ancestors. Stories explaining why the stars existed. Stories that were probably exaggerated every single time they were told. You think clickbait is modern? Imagine hearing, "You won't believe what happened to Ugg near the river yesterday." Storytelling wasn't just entertainment, it was education, social bonding, history, comedy, and probably gossip. Because let's be honest, if gossip exists today, it definitely existed 20,000 years ago. Humans didn't suddenly invent curiosity when social media arrived. We've always been nosy. But there's another reason boredom may have felt different. The environment itself was constantly changing. Modern life is weirdly predictable. You wake up, check your phone, go to work, come home, watch something, sleep, repeat. Many of us spend most days inside carefully controlled boxes. Boxes called homes, offices, cars. Meanwhile, Ice Age humans lived in an unpredictable world. Every day brought uncertainty, weather changes, animal movements, new landscapes, potential threats. And novelty is one of boredom's biggest enemies. Your brain loves new information. It's why people can spend 3 hours reading random facts online.
One minute you're looking up sharks. The next minute you're learning how medieval toilets worked. The human brain chases novelty like a golden retriever chasing a tennis ball. Our ancestors got plenty of novelty naturally. We often have to manufacture it. And yet, there's a twist. Modern humans might actually be worse at handling boredom than our ancestors. Researchers have found that constant stimulation changes our expectations. When entertainment is available every second, ordinary moments can feel empty. Waiting in line becomes unbearable. Sitting quietly feels strange. Some people can't even watch a movie without checking their phone, then checking messages, then checking social media, then checking social media while the movie is still playing. It's like our brains developed an addiction to novelty. Ice Age humans didn't have that problem. If you sat around a fire at night, there was no alternative tab to open, no notifications, no endless stream of content designed by teams of psychologists, just darkness, firelight, conversation, and your thoughts. Which sounds peaceful until you remember there were probably wolves nearby, so maybe not that peaceful. But there's one final question. Did boredom help make us human? Some scientists think so. Remember, boredom pushes people toward exploration, toward creativity, toward trying something different. Maybe one bored human started carving patterns into bone. Maybe another experimented with pigments and created art. Maybe someone looked at a spear and thought, what if I made this longer? Innovation often starts with dissatisfaction, with the feeling that something could be better, and boredom is basically dissatisfaction in its purest form. Without it, we might never have explored new lands, invented new tools, created stories, or built civilizations. In a strange way, boredom may have quietly shaped human history. The feeling we spend so much time trying to avoid could be one of the reasons we're here at all. So what did boredom feel like 20,000 years ago? Probably familiar, but also completely different. Our ancestors likely got bored, they got restless, they wanted novelty, just like us. The difference is that when boredom arrived, they couldn't escape into a screen. They had to do something about it, explore, create, talk, imagine, invent. And maybe that's why a bored human living in a cave eventually became a human capable of building rockets. Which brings us to an interesting question. If you were suddenly transported back 20,000 years with no phone, no internet, and nothing but your own thoughts, how long do you think it would take before you got bored?